I'm about to flip the script and change the game plan. I'm about to boss it up and be my own man. Credit Karma say my score around in the six. I heard that paying mortgage way less than paying rent. Equity, tax breaks, make no mistakes. Money piling out, watch my co-workers hate. Anyway, rate increase, no way. Just gotta raise on my job, more pay. I'm on Realtor.com, Zillow every day. I think about it all the time on my lunch break. When I want it, best believe I'ma get it. I'ma get me a house, it might take a minute. My boy Los got a VA loan, he a vet. I might holler at him, asking what the next step. I'ma get that, I'ma get that, I'ma get that, I'ma get it. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ed Averett with the Ava Home Group Fathom Realty. Welcome to the Process Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, George Irby from Rutledge Financial Services with us. Welcome to the show, George. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, man.
All right. So we're going to talk about some tips for you about financial planning. It's easy to get comfortable with what you're doing now if you're working and you may be doing well, but you never know when you're not able to work. And what is going to be your game plan if you're not working? How are you going to be able to live when you get older and you're not able to work as much? We don't think about that. We just think about the season that we're in and that's it. But the reality of it is that sometimes the body breaks down. Sometimes, things happen. Maybe the industry that you're in may dry up a little bit. So what is your plan? So that's what we're going to talk to George today to try to get you a game plan and try to make your money work for you. So George, tell me a little bit about your company, how long you've been in business, and what made you get into financial planning.
Absolutely, man. So the name of my business is Rutledge Financial Partners. We are a full service wealth management firm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when I mean full service wealth management, we do anything from stocks, bonds, commodities, alternatives, 401ks, IRAs, all the way to 529 plans and insurance. So you name it, we most likely can handle it. So we've been in business for the past 12 years. And prior to that, I spent 10 years in the National Football League with the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers in the front office. And that's kind of what got me in this business. After spending 10 years in the front office of both teams, every rookie season, we had a symposium where we talked about finances, how to manage your money. And what was interesting is as soon as a lot of these individuals got that big paycheck, all the hands came out, mom, dad, cousins, friends. And that's understandable, right? And you want to help your family out when you can. But at the end of the day, if you put 20, 25 people on payroll, that big contract starts to dwindle down. And so, I saw a lot of that. And so I wanted to kind of put my best foot forward on the money management side and kind of help some of these individuals. And that's a big part of our business was professional athletes in NFL and some in WNBA. So we that's what we look forward to. But we also help individuals, small businesses, and nonprofits as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I hate it because we're seeing it more than not seeing it. Just a lot of athletes and just people, just regular people. They have money and just lose it so quick because money, it's hard to make it, but it's easy to lose it. So you definitely have to have a team of professionals to help you get a game plan so you can keep your money. And the cost of living goes up every year, so you definitely need to plan now. How much is a good amount to get started with?
Listen, I mean, I really don't put an amount on getting started. Do what you can do. Everybody's at a different financial position, and so you have to kind of look at where you are in your financial life and put away what you can. I'm a proponent for putting a certain dollar amount away every month, kind of put it away and forget about it, and before you know it, you would have amassed somewhat of a decent nest egg, while it's being invested. So I'm always a proponent for put away what you can. There is no minimum. I know we don't have a minimum. We work with with you wherever you are financially. So if you're just starting out, we can work with you. If you are savvy or have been investing for a while, we still will work with you.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Is it ever too late to invest? I know a lot of people who are like 50 or 60, even in their 40s, they're like, man, it's too late. I'm just going to just draw my Social Security. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, I get that all the time, and it's never too late to start. I've had individuals come into my office, 55, 60 years old, and have yet to put money away. But let's go ahead and get started. I mean, you'd be surprised, what your return could be any given year if you start at age 60, and then by retirement age of 67, see what you have left, you know what I mean? And see what the difference is if you hadn't put money away for 7 years. So it's never too late to get started. Time is your best friend. So the earlier you can do it, that's the most beneficial for you. But again, it's never too late to get started.
So tell me a couple of success stories that you had. I know you probably have a lot of them. I know you can't tell any personal information, but
Yeah, yeah.
just what are some? Tell me a few success
You
stories.
know, I got quite a few. I'm trying to think now of what would make sense for some of your listeners. I'll go with I had a family, right? Spanish speaking, came to America roughly 12 years ago. They own a construction home building company now. Have had Didn't know anything about business, didn't know anything about finances. They had three little kids, and they walked into my office one day. We sat down for about 30, 45 minutes. I kind of gave them an idea of, what path to kind of go down as far as taking money from the revenues that they were making in this small business and kind of putting it away. And that was 11 years ago. Now this company, they have, four other locations. Each child has their own 529 account, to get put money away for college. I mean, it's a, it almost bring a tear to my eye, so to speak, man. It's great to put a plan together, and then you have clients that actually follow that plan, and then they see what the end goal is. I know they're extremely happy because I'm extremely happy. Um, Another prime example, I had a client come in. This to go with what you're saying. It's never too late to start investing. This young lady, in between 60, 64 years old. So, and she had never put money away. She worked for a company that did have a 401k, but she never put any money in the 401k. She, quote unquote, said, "I need that money for my bills," right? And so she never put money away. And she's 3 years away from actually retiring, and she's like, "Okay, so what do I do now?" And so we put a plan together. We started off very small, and then every 2 or 3 months, she actually upped that amount that she was putting away to try and catch up. And now, if you look at her account, she'd say, "I mean, this is amazing where I am now, based on if I never would have came in to see you." And so the key is really just start. You don't have to put a lot. You don't have to put a lot in an investment. You don't have to try and save everything that you have. Just start now, see how it works for the first couple of months. If you can do more, do more, and see how it goes.
All right, all right. Can you help someone that recently lost their job and they want to roll over their 401k money from their previous job and into a Roth account or IRA or some other
Oh,
finance?
absolutely. I mean, that's typically our bread and butter. You not necessarily have to lose your job, but if you decide to transfer or go somewhere else and work, and you do have a 401k just sitting there at your prior employer, I'm a proponent for moving that 401k over to an IRA, whether it be a Roth or a regular IRA, because for one, it's now under your Social Security number. It's not under the tax ID of the company that you work for. Two, typically you probably have more investment options in your IRA than you would have in your typical 401k plan. And that's for fiduciary responsibility purposes, because an employer has to have fiduciary responsibility over their employees, right? They can't have you investing willy-nilly. So they're only going to have a certain amount of mutual funds, most likely in that fund lineup in your 401k. Then the other thing is, once you leave that employer, you can no longer contribute to it. So if you want to continue to put money away, you can't even do it if it's in that 401k plan. So in an IRA, if it's yours and you want, say you had a good year, you had a good bonus, and you want to put more money away for your IRA, you can do that. You can't do that in a 401k and you're no longer working there. So those are three, I think, advantages there are of moving that 401k to the IRA. Now, you do have options. I mean, you can leave it at the employer if you want to, but that's really up to you. But I myself, I am a proponent for actually moving it to IRA and letting that be professionally managed by someone like myself or an establishment like mine.
Okay. All right. Now, can you cash out on some of these products or change them around if they're not working for you? How does that work?
Yeah, so I mean that's typical, portfolio management, right? And so, based on your risk tolerance, based on your actual goal, that's where the portfolio gets made up on certain investments, right? Whether you're somewhat aggressive or somewhat conservative, and by all means, we like to think that we harp on risk management, right? And so it's great to make money when the market is up, but what do you do as a wealth manager when the market's down, right? And you get these phone calls, and the portfolio isn't going up, it's going down. So we kind of put a focus on risk mitigation, and so we do a lot, with our portfolios to kind of minimize that risk in down market time. So we like to say we make our money in down markets we definitely focus on risk mitigation at Rutledge Financial Partners.
All right. Now, are there any tax write-offs associated with these type of investments?
Yeah. So if you in most states, if you contribute to a traditional IRA, you can write that tax off. It's tax deductible on your return. Also, 529s are a good way to play the tax thing, because if you contribute to a 529 plan, as long as those funds are being used for a college, either tuition, room and board, then that money is actually tax free. So it grows tax deferred, but then is being used and is also tax free if it's being used at a qualified institution.
Gotcha. You know that. So tell me, in terms of real estate, can you use any of the money that you're investing into those accounts and purchasing real estate, or how does that work?
You can. It's going to really determine what type of account you have. Typically, with a self-directed IRA, you can take those funds and they will allow you to use that for real estate. Regular traditional IRAs, no. Roths, no. If it's a regular investment account, say you put 100 grand in an investment account, waited 2 years, now you have 140,000, 150,000. Sure, you can take that money and invest it into real estate. But in order to actually take qualified money, it has to be a self-directed IRA.
Gotcha. How long does it typically take for you to start seeing a profit?
That's a good question. I mean, it really depends on, what you're investing in. They say, the more aggressive you are, the more risk you have. So the likelihood that you would probably see some type of return quicker would probably be in something a little more aggressive versus something that's a little conservative, like fixed income. Maybe you might not see a huge return that quick, but it's really all is going to boil down to what you're actually invested in.
Gotcha. Now, if a person is watching and say they want to get into financial planning, they kind of want to do what you do. What does it take to get started with that?
Listen, I mean, I am all for it, especially if you're a minority. We make up 3% of this industry. And outside that 3%, there's maybe 1.5% that actually own their business independent like we do. And we manage over 100 million in assets. So, I mean, I love to set up, and it's something that myself and my business partner have been talking about for a while, is to have a internship program where we can actually start having like a feeder system into this industry for minorities, because we need more of us to help more of us. You understand?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
But to also answer, to really answer the question, I mean, depending on how involved you want to be in this business, you have to have certain licenses, right? And so I'm licensed Series 7, 63, 65. I'm also insurance, life, health. So I mean, it depends on what you want to do and how involved you want to be. But there are quite a few licenses that you need to have in order to do what we do.
Gotcha. But I'm quite sure it's going to be worth it.
It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
So what areas do you serve?
We like to say we're national, man. I mean, we're roughly in 29, 30 states right now. So, technology has allowed us to basically have clients anywhere. I mean, I have some clients that are actually professional basketball players that are in Africa, over in France. So, I mean, technology has allowed us to, stay in contact and work with our clients just about anywhere.
Okay. All right. Any last tips that you may have for someone that may be on the fence? They're working hard, they're doing pretty good on their business, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're working with a company and they're not really, they're barely making enough money to put food on their table. What would be some advice that you would give them?
Listen, I guess the best advice that I can give really is to sit down with somebody like myself, and let's put some things on paper. The first thing is we want to put together an expense report, right? I bet you I can ask that individual how much money they make annually, and they'll tell me right off the bat, I make 45,000. And I ask you, well, how much are you spending a year? And I won't get an answer, right? And so we put it on paper. This will allow us to see exactly what you're spending, on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis. And then we look at the wants and we look at the needs, right? We can't really do anything with the needs because you need them. But the wants, maybe this is something that we can cut out temporarily, or maybe we can cut them out altogether, and you'd be surprised how much more money that you have than you thought that you had, right? And so, I'm a proponent for having roughly 3 to 6 months of living expenses kind of saved. And that's kind of your emergency fund. So if you do get laid off, you get fired for some reason, at least you can kind of stay afloat for the next 3 to 6 months while you look for something else. We're supposed to be getting these stimulus checks coming in here pretty soon. So I would hope that if you don't have the 3 to 6 months saved up, maybe you use that to kind of, buffer that savings. If you already have that saved up, maybe you take this stimulus check and put it towards some debt, credit cards, or high interest rate debt that you might have to kind of start paying that down. So those are some, examples of probably what I would do in the situations that you just stated.
Gotcha. Good, great advice. Damon Alvin said, "Good stuff, gentlemen." So
the actor. I just looked him up on IMDb too, and I was, oh man, he doing 3 movies in 1 year, and we just started in 2021.
Listen, this is the year of reinvention, so I love it. I'm proud of all of y'all, man. Y'all doing your thing.
Yeah.
Let me see. MC, I don't know who that is, said, "Hi, Ed. Nice moon background." So I guess background. Peyton said, "I didn't know there were chairs on the moon where there are today."
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's some great stuff. So we really have to start thinking about the future. I mean, time goes by quick. Think about the last couple of years, right? And then, times change. The body, things happen to the body, different things change in life, so you have to be prepared. So a lot of times we don't want to have these conversations. We don't want to think about it, but it is very necessary. So
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
glad that you came on the show. How can someone reach you if they want to get in touch with
Listen, if you want to reach out to me, my email is george.irby. That's george.irby at LPL. That's LarryPaulLarry.com. My website is www.rutledgefinancialpartnersllc.com. Look us up look me up on LinkedIn. You can look me up on Facebook. My phone number, office number is 704-684-0671. So feel free, give me a call if you got any questions, whether it has anything to do with savings, investing, insurance. I should be able to answer it for you. If I can't, I'll definitely get that answer for you. So feel free to reach out. We don't charge anything for consultations or questions asked. I'm here to help.
And you just picked up another location, right? I'm happy. I'm proud about it.
Yeah. We closed on another acquisition, man, in Greensboro. We have some pretty big shoes to fill in that area, and we're looking forward to it. We're excited. So yeah, man, 2021 is going to be a good year.
I feel that too. I'm seeing just a change in a lot of people's mindset. I'm seeing a lot of people get into owning businesses and doing things on the side. I'm loving it. I'm loving the energy, and I definitely feel like a lot of people are going to win. So thank you for being on the show. Now, do you do just individual investments, or do you do
we do it all, man. We do individual investments for individuals. We do investing for nonprofits. We do businesses. We also set up 401ks for businesses, simple IRAs, SEP IRAs. We do it all. If you're a business, nonprofit, or individual, doesn't matter. And one other thing that we have that a lot of businesses or wealth management firms don't have, we also have a robo-advisor. So we spend a lot of money now on technology where it's called Yellow Penguin. So you'd have to reach out to us and we can kind of get you some more information on that. But you're able to put money in an investment account, and it uses artificial intelligence to build your portfolio based on your time horizon and your risk tolerance. And you decide, how much money you want to put in, what you want to take out at any time. I mean, we basically oversee it, but we don't build a portfolio for you. That it actually uses artificial intelligence for that. So you can do as little as, $5, $10. It'll buy fractional shares for you. So it's a great way to get started if you've never invested before. And it's also a good way, for all the tech savvy individuals out there, some of those that are doing Robinhood or Stash or Acorns and stuff like that. This works very similar.
That's great. That's great. So there's no amount that's too small, and it's never too late, right?
Absolutely. You said it.
Okay. That's the message. Well, thank
you.
It's
all about percentages, right? So if you gave me $100,000 and I made 15%, or you gave me $50 and I made 15%, it's just the same thing. It just looks bigger because you're starting with a bigger number.
Right. Well, great stuff. Thank you for being on the show. And I want to
anytime.
Yes. We might have to have you on again because I know it's just so much information that's out there. But I like to talk to my people and tell them just trust the professionals. Reach out. Like you said, it doesn't cost you anything just to talk to them and just see how you can structure your financial planning. So thank you for watching, everyone. Good night and one love.
All right.
The rent man done went up on the rent man. He ain't about to get another red cent, man. I'm about to flip the script and change the game plan. I'm about to boss it up and be my own man. Credit Karma say my score around in the 6. I heard that paying mortgage way less than paying rent. Equity, tax breaks, made no mistakes.